When I was a kid, my mom and I went to a garage sale and I found this. It's a little trade paperback. It's the first 6 issues of the Fantastic Four comic book, and I fell in love. The Fantastic Four really got me into the world of comic books. I mean, I'm always excited when the Fantastic Four are being brought to us on either the small screen, the 90s cartoon was awesome, or the big screen. And I think we know that there have been more misses than hits as far as bringing the Fantastic Four to the big screen. I will defend the first of the Jessica Alba Fantastic Four movies. It's not a great movie, but it got some stuff right. There's stuff there that I like. But obviously with the failure of the most recent Fantastic Four movie, and of course all of the moving around of properties between Marvel and Sony and Fox and who knows, and I don't even know who has what at this point, but obviously at some point the Fantastic Four will get a reboot. I think it should be sooner rather than later. I think the sooner you wash the bad taste out of people's mouths, the better. So that got me thinking what I would do with a Fantastic Four reboot, how I would approach it, both for myself as a Fantastic Four fan, but also as somebody trying to make something marketable. It's just so we're clear on tone, because I think tone matters when you're talking about the cast. I'm not going for a dark, gritty Fantastic Four. I'm not going for a Dark Knight Fantastic Four. I want it to be colorful. I want it to be edging on cartoony. I want it to be fun. So, Sue Storm. For me, this was an important casting decision because I think Sue can easily work her way into the background of the group with the other strong personalities, and I would like to see her take a little bit more center stage in my Fantastic Four. So I would go with Samara Weaving, which I loved her in Mayhem, which is a great movie, and I also really loved her in Ready or Not, which is also a super fun movie. She's tough, she's an absolute smoke show, and I think she would be perfect. Reed Richards, a lot of the people that I would have maybe gone with are getting too old. Everybody's too old in Hollywood nowadays, but I think an interesting choice and a good choice would be John Cho. I guess some people might remember him from Harold and Kumar, but obviously most people know him as Sulu in the Star Trek reboots. I think he has what I think most of the actors that I want in this cast have, which is the ability to be funny, but also the ability to play things seriously when they need to. And I think Reed Richards, there is always that element to Reed of, I screwed up and I turned the people I love most in the world into mutants. And there's always that guilt in the background, but also that desire to pursue science and the desire to make the world a better place now that they have these powers that allow them to help people. With great power comes great responsibility, I guess some might say. Some, I don't know who, but I should say too that for Reed Richards, I was trying to cast somebody more in the age range of Samara Weaving. I thought John Cho was in that range, and then I looked, and that guy's like practically 50 years old. He's way older than I thought he would be. He still looks like he's 25. It's amazing. So for The Thing, I think you really have to nail a couple key pieces of his attitude, which is he's a grumpy old man. He's kind of has that protective uncle vibe over Reed Richards. He's obviously someone who is almost like, I don't want to say a Ron Swanson, but he's somebody who is stoic. He doesn't talk about his emotions, but he does love these people and he wants to protect them, but he doesn't gush about his emotions, you know? And then you also have that aspect of when he becomes the Thing, he hates it and he does not want to be the Thing. He would give anything to not be the Thing. I'm going with Michael Shannon for that role. I think, first of all, his face, it would be very interesting to see a rock monster version of his facial structure. I think it would lend itself in an interesting way. The mocap on his face would probably be pretty great. I would, by the way, say I don't want a rubber suit. I would want a full CG character, a la a Thanos or you know, something like that. So for Johnny Cage, for Johnny Storm, Sue's younger brother, he frequently is portrayed as somebody who's already like an incredibly cool guy before getting the powers. And then, you know, his powers just make him that much cooler, no pun intended. But I would like to see a version of Johnny who is, first of all, a little younger to start off with. I would like to see the age range of the Fantastic Four spread out a little bit more, and so you get a little bit more of that true family dynamic. So he's a little younger, and I would like to see him more as somebody that's not cool right off the bat. And then he's maybe a little picked on, maybe a little introverted. He's not particularly cool. He's not particularly popular or well-liked. But then he gets these powers, and it sort of becomes his avenue for becoming popular. And you could play a lot with Ben Grimm, sort of taking on that uncle role and sort of really doing some of the, like, not real parenting, whereas in other versions, you know, again, because maybe Johnny was a little older, because they already had all this history of being sort of having this adversarial attitude. Instead of it being just, I'm a grump that doesn't like to put on a big show, and I'm a super extroverted guy that loves being the center of attention, and we clash. Instead of that, it could be more, I'm a kid, and I'm inexperienced, and I am still kind of learning how to walk in the world. And Ben Grimm is more a character that comes in to parent. But all that aside, who am I going to cast? I am thinking Asher Angel from Shazam. And it's kind of cheating because basically he played this, exactly what I'm talking about is what he played in Shazam. But I think he did a really good job. And I think that is exactly what I would like to see with a Johnny Storm. So we've got our Fantastic Four in place. Now we need a villain for them to fight. And as much as I would like to go with Mole Man, I don't think that is the right idea from a marketing standpoint for a reboot. I think it'd be pretty hard to make the trailers of them fighting Mole Man look like super enticing. Although, who knows? But we're going to go with Dr. Doom, because of course we're going to go with Dr. Doom. But Dr. Doom would be older, and he'd be positioned as less of like a direct rival to Reed, and more of a mentor who has sort of grown jealous of Reed's natural abilities and accomplishments. And obviously you need somebody with a great physical presence, but you also need somebody who, once you put him behind the armor, has a great voice. That's going to be the key to Dr. Doom, is you need a great voice. So my number one pick is Bryan Cranston. I think obviously everybody knows Bryan Cranston has an incredible voice, and I think hearing that coming out of Dr. Doom armor would be incredibly badass. But if Bryan Cranston was busy and couldn't make it, I would also take Keith David, who has a tremendous voice. He voiced Spawn back in the cartoon days and was Goliath in the Goliath cartoon. You know his voice. He's got an incredible voice. Or Mark Strong, but I would have gone with him probably first, except for the fact that he was the villain in Shazam, and I'm already casting somebody in Shazam and putting them in a very similar role to Shazam, so I didn't want it to be too Shazam-y, you know what I'm saying? So there you go, those are my ideas. I would love to hear your ideas. Please put them in the comments, or you can always hit me up on Twitter or Instagram and let me know there. I would love to know. But that is it for today. I actually got something else I need to start filming, so I will catch all you cool cats and you dirty dogs on the flip side. Bye-bye.